Hey everyone, we're back with more Ace Attorney for Apollo Justice, where last time we got into one cross-examination of, the court case, which, yeah, we're gonna continue. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say, I expected nothing less. We're only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened actually. Oh, I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discover yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we needed less thinking and more talking. That night in the hospital, what really happened? Ah, the way you eyes gleam, Mr. Right. You'll scare Trucy. Speaking of which, where is she? You have seen the problem yourself, the letter. Yeah, the one shot in the forehead, right? Yes, the reason he speaks of it. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say, for now at least. What's this for now business? I have done many things in my life, some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear alone our graves. We? You wanted to know the night of the incident? Actually, this guy sure likes to take his time getting this. I'm surprised he didn't tell you before. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. By the way, what happened to Gumshoe's old vest? Did they just forget about that? Or did he just like, yeah, whatever. I stuck into his room that night at the appointment time and found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. 2? 2? Yes, the one I had used on stage and the other that had been used by my partner found. Oh my frick, is this the forged evidence he's referring to? The fact that he left out 2 pistols. Oh, for the Zach and Valance quick draw thing? I really hope so. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that I was all flattered. Then, for a moment. You flattered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Recall there was a reason I couldn't refuse the request. His last request, so there were other requests you couldn't refuse. To be honest, I've not always been so fast, and I fear I brought pain upon Trucy. Was magnified coercing his despicable is what was going on in Tromara. Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned the shot to the clown. I took the pistol and I fired and placed it in my... Oh, there it is. It's right there in his left pocket, right over there. You can see it right there. Like, first lock and now the gun. How did I not notice that after all of this time? I believe if you examine... Yeah, you will find it to be different ones. Like, it's right there. Like, right there. What are those called? Flying? No, it's ballistic markings. As all I have to concern. Oh, concerning. You mean there's something else you can tell me? You should probably tell your lawyer pretty much everything, just so they can help you with your case. Not something you would just withhold information, unless if you are the killer. Yeah, because. Wait, what? Magnify. The old Oh my frick. So, no. Remember in like a few episodes ago where Buren said that the devil gave to... It's not She's not referring to Kristoff, she's referring to... Oh my god. I think... I want to change my theory now, please. If I could, just like last... Of course, the gunshot would have fucked him up. And there we had our last discussion as a mentor. It was not a long discussion, maybe 5, 10, or so. Well, what did you talk about? Mr. Wright, did I not tell you? This is the case. Okay, well, I'm Mr. Wright. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the courtroom. Let's get started. I don't think any of that was relevant, so we're just gonna go. April 19th, 11:37 a.m. District Court number 7. Court is back in session. During our recess, what was found in the dug out of the clown's forehead? Well, this is news. And the rifling marks? There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon. Well, that's not very close of it. Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness. How many times have I heard those words? I wonder who it is. I think I know who it is. Prediction time. If I'm actually right on this, then... So, I think that the witness is gonna be... Whamir, or Valent. No, Valent. Because, you know, the devil guy. That's who I think. Though, they often turn out to be less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry on my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he is... So it's a he, so yeah, probably. With the players being the other half of Trope Gamera's famous Zack and Valent. I called it. How? I don't know. Just, it's not like... I mean, well, I just actually don't know how I got it, but whatever. So we got to meet... So. Huh. He sure isn't... He sure is young. God, I lost for words. Perhaps we'll start by tasking your name and occupation. Found Gamera, magician. You were the decisive witness. You can prove your fellow student your partner. Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks. Okay, wait, the shooting took place in the hospital after 11 o'clock. If you're the witness, does that mean you were there that night? If one were to deduce this logically and conclusion is yes. Okay, I always get the characters, don't I? I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this. That looks very familiar. Wait, that's the same letter Zack Gamera received. Yes, or perhaps I should say, ta-da! Oh god. Order. And what does it say? Surely not the same thing. Perhaps you should see for yourself. 11:20? Why? It's practically the same. No, there's 11:20, and when we have, if I can see, not the same. No, it's not. The court accepts this as evidence. We don't need to see that, because it's literally just a different time. This is the most unusual exactly. What is going on? I sure hope I don't regret not looking at that later. And don't jinx myself. What exactly was your trope up to? By which you mean, I'm just having trouble envisioning a man who asked his student to kill him. Both of them, no less. It's just my opinion, you judge. We walked the patient's path together, and in doing so, shared much of our... When people are so close, there is strain, a wrapping of relations, you might say. Yet, this is not to do with the case. Okay, well, by which it means you're not going to tell us. Which makes me wonder what even more about this reason why you couldn't refuse. Damn me. Well then, let's get started with the testimony. Okay, please tell us your testimony. He banged the gavel. We're skipping right through. I am not reading that. Fascinating. So I hardly. Let's get to the 6-7. Okay. Prediction. This guy's also the culprit for the case that we're currently in, because we know for a fact that he's gonna get found not and our defendant is gonna get found guilty. So the only reason why is because we lose for some unbelievable reason, and then this guy's the actual culprit. Okay, let's just do it. 11 minutes in, we're already. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time Magnify requested. So that's 11:20. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor had taken his annual blow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Yeah, ideal is dead. Is still a deal. That sweet kiss I gave to the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police. So you're the one who reported the crime. Indeed, I would think this fact alone would just clear me sufficient. Let's not jump to any conclusions, especially because when he reported the crime, he got arrested. Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before the conclusions in this trial, but if it proves to be true, then the defendant, Zach Garmar, is guilty. And if it wasn't Zach Garmar, then the killer was you, Valent. Well, yeah, clearly. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. Sorry for the camera. The reason why this camera angle is so terrible is because I have to use all my... Okay, so... Oh, we're back at full health, so that's cool. You know, I never really got the time to talk about how just like in the first game, you just all the health, which on the one hand I appreciate, but on the other hand it kind of just removes the challenge of but you know what, I should be thankful, but I guess in the next games I'm probably not gonna. Okay, let's just do this. Yeah, I know, it was probably around that. Yeah, magician was thinks everything. We know what time he... If I were to appear on stage before the left intent, why, it would reveal the staircase. I'm just trying to focus, so I have to drop the act. Now that you received the... Well, except for that. You went. Okay. Well, that was a waste of time. So, where the... I mean, you smelled the gunpowder, yes. What if the shooter was still nearby? I did not consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to... Oh, really? Isn't magic all about illusions and... How about this? Where should... Now you are the one imagining. It is forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination. The witness will refrain from pausing so superficially before responding. My forbidden imagination is starting to... Okay. I did not imagine my fellow student when I received... Just like last time, nothing really jumped up immediately. Which brings us... Yeah, so does my partner. Okay, but imagine if I wrote the same thing to you. Why couldn't you refuse it if you couldn't act? Because I have the will of steel, of course. I always do the tricks of blend, so perhaps... So which is it? Mind if I continue? Yeah, okay, so that's not helping us deal with us. Yes. Are we getting somewhere? There were 2 bullet holes at the scene of the crime, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown is... No doubt my partner, Zach. Are you sure about that? No, it was him. It's gotta be him. Yeah, because whoever did it, I've ever taken... Hold on, let's ask... Okay, the bullet in the location... We know how many bullet pistols there were. There was only one. Location of the pistol. Location of the pistol. And the bullet... So we don't need to press on this, because we know how many there is. There's only one, obviously. And we don't need to talk about this, we don't need to talk about... Well, actually, we do need to talk about... Yo, let's just talk about the location. Where exactly did enter the room? Atop a small bedside table, it was. As if you'd say, here I am, my hand pulled, my trigger shoot him. The victim clearly wanted to be shot. But why? Perhaps he wanted to go out with a bang. Yet, we will never hear the proof of the lift, so all we can do is guess. Is this location of the pistol important? Shoot, I forgot immediately. Let's just... Without my weapon, murder. It's very important. Very well, at least I thought it's... What I can do is... Let's hope it's... I took the pistol from the small table and shot the clown. Wait, it's his... Well, first one fires barrel. Well, he has gloves. That makes sense, because... You know what, let's ask about the other thing, just because... I didn't realize how useless that was. Because... Okay, let's just... Okay, let's ask. Any guys want? Just like last time, we had 3 options, and... Okay, perhaps I should ask. Maybe I should ask. activate the bullet inside the pistol. In order to shoot a pistol, you need a bullet. Where was the bullet? I entered the room and I took the bullet in my hand. The bullet was already located, ready and fired. Time. Mission is already prepared to see. Prepared for? One never knows when a miracle will call. So it's already in. A magician always has 7 drills in his pocket and a pull. Okay, well, really, we're dealing with professionals here. Is this bullet? Well, if it was already loaded, so why not? Wait, actually, we should ask how many number of bullets there are next time, because he might say there's 2. And like, nah, bro, because why would he say that? Because he probably wouldn't. What can I do? Yeah, where said that pistol was already loaded. I mean, like, there's something wrong with it being already loaded. So it's always the last thing I choose. I'm guessing. So if he says, if he doesn't say it, we'll go back to the other testimony. Yeah, there's no magic. Let's skip on to the next one. Let's get to the final one. Can't really do much. I wish I could skip faster. Hopefully, okay. Number of bullets. How many bullets? Yeah, please tell me there was 1. Yeah. Yeah, so how many were there? What did that do? Of course. Oh, yeah. I found a bullet. 2 bullets in there. So I fired. Only 1 pistol is this one. You picked up the pistol. Yeah. Oh, it is. Number of pistols is quite important. Okay, let's see how many he's gonna. I mean, he's probably gonna say 2, and he's gonna be like 1. Only 1 pistol was found in the hospital at the night. Shot. No. That's wrong. Guys getting shot. Okay, well that's... Okay, well I don't know what... I know that this is wrong because literally... I know that's wrong because there's 2 people getting shot. Oh yeah, so... I'm an idiot. I'm actually an idiot. Because this only fires 1 bullet. Yes, I completely forgot about that. According to your... Okay, well, that was still bullcrap that I can only present the pistol because it clearly shows 2 people getting shot. Let me present both the photo and the pistol. Yeah, one of those was shot. Of course, this is what we... Unlike the hapless clown, we used to assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about Sir Allen? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you. I took the pistol, and that was there, and shot the clown. No, you didn't. At your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valen. Recall the prosecutor you haven't told us. Yeah. They were perfect. You fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead. Man, it feels like I'm playing the first game again, but... The classic, oh shoot, it's my fault. Yeah. What have I done? Prosecutor Gavin, I owe the court an apology. Sorry? Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks was only proven to be the type of gun that fired them. What? Actually, what? But that's not what you told us before. You said you verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now. Quite sincerely, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my mouth, youth? Well, I gotta say, it's pretty weird how it took the older brother longer than the younger brother to become an attorney. Which is pretty weird, because I'm pretty sure he said that. That was just this morning. I'm still young. Well, I mean, he is 7 years younger. And I might add that it wasn't my fault. Oh, really? Well, you were the one in charge of that. The defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime. We should not be having this pleasant discussion now. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Godot only has been a part of 1 case, and he flawlessly is good at it. Just the fact that he's only good at 1 prosecutor case. Although, he technically had experience as a defense attorney. So, I guess that's totally... You are presenting to the court as a new decisive witness, but you're proven to be more decisive than at the time. Oh, divisive. There it is. You'll see in time. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next. Care to elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin? When Mr. Valiant entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. And as his next testimony will prove, you're right, the real fight has about to begin. Bring it on. Very well. The witness will now testify. Okay, testify more. Okay, this time I'm gonna be very... There's no... Oh, wait, that's for the cross-examination. I arrived in the hospital room at the appointment time, which was to say 12... Okay, after discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation and then called the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. Okay, well, what they examined? He was quite clear about the time of death at 11:10. Why does it say between 11 and 11:30? And the one in the room at that time was my partner, not me. Okay, well, what did he examine? I want to hear more about what the doctor examined. Those marks were rather close. I mean, they told us the time, but I guess it's cool that they told us the time, but like, did the doctor also examine something else? Because it's only just one. Where's Hamilton? Okay, so yeah. It's easy to explain the situation here, Judge. For example, take her to bed his single 13-year hard time for cue the song, press the play button, and it will play for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Do it 100 times, and the results are the same. My debate signal was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. What a ripoff. Magic is a word of wisdom. Okay, so, information I do not need. Move on. I don't think any of that was important because they're just... Okay. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, after discovering the body, I felt in my obligation to call the doctors. Okay, here it is. What did they do? Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death? Ah, yes. I believe he screamed, "Oh my god, he's been shot in the head." It does take a doctor to notice it probably would scream the same thing. And I would have penned that Rose the soul. Okay, whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigation? In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those bright moments here, Judge. May I remind you, the bailiff's... Yes, Your Honor. My pain and the turning. It's quite very simple. Well, why are they sure about that? I don't think I'm stepping on a... How can the doctor be so precise at the time? We do usually only get an estimated time of true. I'm not sure I've heard of a verified time. Magic reveals the making. The complex appears simple, but reality is the opposite. What appears complex in the case is more... I see another person has done their homework. The point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph in the... Yeah. So, recall what we heard earlier about the... recall what we heard earlier about the victim, Magnified Camille Hussein. Every night at 11, Magnified took the TV drip at 30 minutes. I can see the IV bag right there. Now, look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end. Ah, the needles has been removed. Doubtlessly, it fell out when he shot. That would seem to be the case. When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV. Precisely! The IV liquid functions for a purpose as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor determined the time of death. From the amount of remaining bags determined that the IV has stopped 10 minutes after administration began. Okay, approximately 10 minutes passed since the IV began. Okay, IV report. And so it was then I found to enter the room. Yeah, so so no, not this, this. Approximate 10 minutes and over more 30 minutes required to administrate a full IV from the amount remaining in the IV glass after the mission. Well, Mr. Wright, did that seem important? Very important. Well, seeing how the biggest code we have, I'd say it's very important. Agreed. It would be hard to imagine more system. Behold the power of... Very well. The witness will add this to his detailed... Okay, let's add this and see what we got. Okay, so, then wait. The water of life sprinkling not eternal. The remaining IV improves my innocence. No. No, it doesn't, actually, my friend. Because, you sure it is? Because... Oh, frick. Oh, frick. Well, I might refuse. Okay, let's actually examine this needle. Because we have yet to examine the needle. I always hated getting shots. Me too. I guess Magnify was giving himself the insulin shot. There's no way I could do that. Wait, if Magnify used this to inject his insulin, why are there no traces of having it in use? Bro, I just clicked that and... No way. Something's in mind. Oh, buddy. No. No, he didn't. Objection! What? What? No. No. Bull crap. No. Okay, did I present it on the wrong statement? No. No. Come on. Really? Are you kidding me? Wait, press more? Do you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When I first entered the room, I sketched next the marking of death upon my mentor's forehead. And then his left arm did the right. Okay, so knuckled from the vein by a force of shot. Better pay attention. If that IV had not been there, why would you might be a... In truth, so I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky yellow? Indeed. I wear it proudly upon my chest, for it always without fail brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valen won their first Magician's Grand Prix, yes, the very one held by the association, I was adjourned in this tire then, too, and our trophy a book. This is one trip. Oh, look. Okay, I see. I think the sword was... That does seem to be the case. Lucky. There's a contradiction. It certainly sounds like your lucky colors brought your penalty. But not this time. Mr. Valen, your lucky color betrayed you. I'm afraid you've lost. Your Honor, the witness's testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence. What? Okay, please recall my warning. Question. Baseless accusations will... Oh, are we getting a double penalty? Don't worry, I've got your... What? Where is the evidence that contradicts with... Screw it, I'm gonna do it with this. And if he says, pity. Oh, come on. Oh, actually, come on. The photo of the crime scene? Do I have to point something out? Because I don't know what the frick I'm gonna have to point out. Sure. My pleasure. I promise. Oh, great. I have to point it out. And I get penalized. What is the contradiction with the witness's photo? Okay. So, I don't know what... I don't know what that beacon is. I just clicked this on because out of a random guess. I don't actually know what I'm supposed to click on. What am I supposed to click? What am I actually supposed to click on? Oh, crap. Okay, well, the syringe was basically what I thought initially. But what did he say? That the IV proves his innocence? Well, are we sure it does? Because not only do I have to worry about it, but I have to worry about getting it. Okay, I'm just gonna skip to when I get. Left. Oh, of course. Oh, of course. Oh, of course I get the last thing right. Because why wouldn't I? Kind of takes the mysteries. But if it's yellow, then why is it green? And how the... Yes. Confusing doubts, yeah. What is this? That... Oh, come. Oh, of course. Because why? What? Well, yeah, that one was my bad. Okay, guys, that one was my bad. Because... Yeah, if it really... I hold myself accountable for that mistake. My fault, guys. Sorry. Because my brain was just... couldn't process about how stupid that... Yeah. The greener they are, the harder they fail. I suppose there's no... Yeah, your lucky color is yellow. Well, yeah, so, care to explain that? Well, hey, at least I'm not full health. And to think that you almost had me. I see your true color now, Ace Attorney Phoenix, right? Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness's testimony does not Ah, yes. A contradiction. The one that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has no mistakes. I agree, at a glance, the IV liquid does appear a sort of greenish yellow. I assure you, the liquid itself is quite yellow. How can you say that? As far as I can tell from this green, Yes, but what color is the IV bag? It's plastic. It's clear itself. Yeah, light blue. Figured it out? Put... Oh, BS! That is so dumb. Your explanation does have... I'm just... As I thought. There's no... Okay, well that was just stupid. But how did the witness know that? Yeah. It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Ah! Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation for the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid... So let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow? Well, we're cornered. Order, order, order. Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly know the color of the IV liquid, so I'm sure it means something, but what? It means he did it. I think the cost. The witness felt that the IV liquid was yellow because it looked yellow. He'd seen it before. He knew the IV. Seen it. From the lack of the evidence, the witness knew. Why? Because he'd seen it before. Outside the blue bag, he saw the himself. I suppose he would have had to, but I'm still not clear what. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at the hospital? That's where you will find your meaning wrong. I'm afraid I find nothing, so what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Leave it just... The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin, I remember it well. However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. I know. An hourglass is a sand, but... Well, I'm not really good with IV bags because I barely am at a hospital. I've never been to... Well, only once, but that was when... As much as I pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sands through an hourglass, IV liquids enter patients' bodies, at which point, like magic, it appears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid had increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much it went in. Let me get this straight, Air Wright. You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag? Not with this water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. Now wait! No, I said wait! How I'm as amateur such as myself essay to perform such a... amateur too, but I can perform... But I don't care. Because I just want this. This is going on way longer than... Okay, I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat? He has a point, amateurs. I at least would have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into this bag. You don't need to be an amateur expert to see the look on the witness. He added liquid to the IV and snorted off. I'm tired of these fairy tales lacking evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence that brings us back Valgamar? I'm afraid your magic won't serve. Okay, might I ask what you're strongly suggesting? Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness was clearly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work. A little matching prop was used. This. Can we present this now, please? Oh, now we can. It's the perfect prop for the magically increased IV, and easily enough for an amateur to use. What kind of evidence is that? A syringe, Clavier. The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. Nah, frick that. Frick your logic. And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. So, I don't know how the frick you can tell. Well, Valley Guillermo, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect cloak. One that could manipulate at will. Alcazar! Sorry, buddy, but you're just caught. So, how do we lose this? I do believe, well, with this, the burn of his oil has been a bit too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin. I'm afraid that while there is a doubt of much amount of IV liquid bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today. Well, maybe I could squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much needed investigation work. I see there are no objections. Court is... True. There was no subtitle for experience. Nothing blinds one of the truth so effectively. A word to the wise: underestimate the young, and they'll sweep your feet out from the undergrowth. In a way you never ever expected. See, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's I talking about? You say the witness used the syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid, but there's no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. He's admitting it. Nor was the last witness quite as decisive as I'd hoped. This, I admit, after all, why linger in the past when the future holds so much? Is he gonna... You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin? Proof, Air Judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence, no less. Oh, great. Oh, wait, that's the diary that Vera saw, I'm guessing. What's this?
What's this? What's this? There's powder everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air.
This is the victim magnifier's diary. Diary? Well, oh, are you gonna say that he manipulated? He has an alibi on the diary? Because if that's the truth, then, that doesn't clear him because he could have faked it. After going into the hospital, Magnify began writing his memoirs as Ames. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his despicables. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end quite approximately with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his despicable couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the IV had been on at 11 a.m. Let's read it, shall we? Hold on. Tonight, IV is in maybe last night. Maybe the last I leave, the rest, this journal may end here, or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. It does appear it may go on, but not long. Of course, by his. He refers to our defendant, Zach Amar. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor, after all. But look at what he said before that. This journal may end here and may go on. If I attends. That is, if Zach Amar didn't pull the trigger. I see the defendant understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on, it ends. Because Magnify's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zach Amar. Order. Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magnify Gramar wrote this? There is no mistaking his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Malphite did intend to continue his diary, yet if his diary ended here, which apparently did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the visitor, Zachor Mar. Well, how do you like me now, your forehead? Still green for us. Face, He's right about the diary being pretty clear. But still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem. But put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient. If the diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for it to show the... Okay, well, I gotta show evidence that contradicts this. I am left with no choice but... What? You have some evidence that overturns this? It's not too late to think this and avoid more embarrassment. Very well, please. Don't you... Oh, wait. I don't think I have any evidence that proves that. Wait. Ooh. It's this. Because it's a little rippy. First, take a closer look. Yeah. I completely forgot I had that. Yeah. Wait, you didn't notice? How did you not notice that? Even I can notice when something's ripped. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that the defendant's... Let me see that. Oh, yeah. What is... Yeah. I'm not gonna just say a lot more because... Well, I'm still waiting for us to lose, because we know we're gonna lose this, no matter what. I'm waiting for our lose, because this doesn't lose it. Well, I mean, they have to show it losing, but... Okay, let's just... Remarkable. Would you care to explain what this all means, Airtorn? The IRA continued after his visitors first came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Weimar left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Found Weimar? No. Well, it's a suspicion. The handwriting, too, matches that on the other hand. This is, without a doubt, the Guerrero. Well, don't worry. Or. But wait, this is impossible. That old man couldn't have written that. Finally! You just couldn't resist, could you, Air Right? Is this what, presenting solid evidence? Dear Judge, Prosecutor Gavin, might I request we put the on hold to call a new witness? But Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the current witnesses. I ask only to put on hold. Please, my new witness has a very important piece of testimony to give us. 5 minutes, no more. Or, well... This New Testament general. So let's just... Well, I'm not really interested in... I guess we're getting this. Mr. Gavin? Oh boy. Is it gonna be Mr. Misham or... I had a bad feeling about... Okay, it goes... I'm not reading that, and I shouldn't have known that it was a bad sign. Oh, it is! How do I keep predicting the witnesses? Guys, I just don't know. Holding trial, no audience. I beg courts to understand the witness to secure his testimony. A judicial deal. The detail of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it'd be best to contain the information in this room. Very well. And you are the witness, I gathered. Yes. Yes, sir. State your name and likeness. My name's Drew Missam. I'm a painter. A painter? You are somehow related to this case? No, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Missam, was it? Do you know... Is this? Oh, yeah. I know it well. How is that possible? Have you seen the diary page somewhere before? Oh, yeah. I mean, I made it. You made it? Oh, BS. Oh, BS. Yes, you might call it one of my works. The prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach. Illegal evidence? I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Missam had another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries. Well, so we are to understand that this page here is... Oh, BS. There's no way he knew that. He unknowingly did. Are you actually serious? A fake prepared by a certain defense. No! Hold it. I didn't prepare this evidence. Ah, the attorney speaks. Something is about this page, I presume, but what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix, right? Well, I didn't know that. BS. That's just convenient as hell. That out of all the evidence, it just so happened to be this fit. I find that bullcrap. Witness, Mr. Missam, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who? Liar. That, I don't know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make it the items they want. I receive my That's the extent of my contract. But there's no proof it was a fake. It's a fake. Huh? To avoid just some... I always put a partial mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine. BS. So this is it. This is how Phoenix Wright lost his attorney's badge. It was because of the fake evidence that he had no control over. Actually bullcrap. Mr. Wright, you have just presented illegal evidence to the court. My court. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. How? Oh, boy. Oh, how convenient. Oh. Who did this? Who actually did this? Oh my god. Who actually did this? Who actually freaking did this? I am going to find this. And this is how you lose it. Mr. Wright? Yes? Do you have an explanation, please? If I did, wouldn't the court hear it? Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime. And presenting it to the court is a serious mistake. fail too. Perhaps your client. Tell me, what kind of defense relies on force? It's quite clear. A guilty one. Your Honor, wait. Wait, do you guys not have any cameras to, say that this was for... Hey, Phoenix, tell them to give cameras on, the outside. Do you not have any cameras outside the courthouse? Well, actually, I don't know about that question because I've never been to a courthouse myself, so I can't actually compare. So, yeah. But you cannot hold my client responsible for actions I understand. I am sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor, another case closed. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that, everything would have gone the wrong... Oh, I even gave... Too bad you decided not to think... I see no need to further discuss on the matter. Mr. Attorney? Yes? I could ask your name? Phoenix Wright? Mr. Wright? I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I remember you. Mr. Wright. Oh, great. Though I deeply regret having to declare my verdict this way, the trial is over. You have the right to find a new to make an appeal. However, this court must... Ah, Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Rizzo? There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. If it's... I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the ability to declare guilty. Except, tell me, how do you plan to announce when your defendant does not... What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. Mr. The defendant escaped. Find him quick. Bailiff, close all exits from the building. On the double. He must be allowed to escape. Well, great. We're fired. That day, in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shadi MR, aka Zach MR, did not just escape. He literally, unbelievably vanished. Right before the bailiffs. No one ever saw him again. Not since that day. This is the miracle. Ha ha ha. No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That is how it happened. The trial of magician Zach Garmar vanished along with him for all eternity. The mystery that remains behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. And that's how we pause. Oh yeah, you better gonna save. Why wouldn't I? The Mason system, the Mason system. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching this. I hope you all enjoyed it, because I have a lot of questions that I cannot even begin to imagine. This has been stupid. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed it, if you did not enjoy it, I'm sorry, but that's nothing I cannot fix. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!